your application. So it is very essential. So all these terminologies are arranged systematically in the 4 phases: exploration, envision, enable, and execute. So basically in exploration, the learning, education, discussion, and experiments about the cloud happens. Envision basically is about building a shared vision between your organization, steering committee, business manager, business unit responsible people, IT people, technical architects. So all those together discuss a shared vision, and which has a systematic analysis, which is backed by the systematic analysis. And enable is about now I have envisioned, I have explored, now I think that I want to go for this cloud approach. Then you set the approach, you select the providers, you upgrade your organization and processes because of the cloud adoption. And execute is actually you are re-engineering your application, modernizing your applications. If you are a new business or writing a new application, then it will be much easier. Then you will define the securities, you will run workloads in the cloud, and you can basically go live with the cloud. So explore the cloud is the first area where you can learn, educate, and discuss and experiment. So these are 3 major categories one need to focus in their exploration process. One is understand, basic is understand cloud. So what are the different terminologies and actors are involved in the understanding cloud is, first is cloud fabric. So basically fabric is a software that makes many cloud benefits real, like scalability and operational savings. Fabric controller servers, provisioning of resources, load balancing, managing servers, performance operating system updates, and ensuring that the environment is available. So that is a cloud fabric. So when you are selecting a cloud provider, you need to understand or ask them a question about what kind of cloud fabric and how it is managed internally. So knowledge about that part is very essential. If the cloud provider is claiming so and so thing, you need to check that. Computing power. In platform as service and infrastructure as service models, enterprises are essentially renting the virtual machines that the provider runs on the low-cost commodity hardware. So in platform as service, developers can scale out by adding additional instances of application on its components. Developers can scale up, requesting large scales using the requesting more processors, memory, local storage. So the real benefit of cloud is the ability of scale out and add scale units as per needed, as per your business demand. So it is very essential to ask these questions to the cloud provider that they have this facility to scale out and scale up. Data storage is, for example, RDBMS is already there since long time, and it is unlikely that RDBMS will go away pretty soon. However, it is essential to evaluate if all your data needs are relational capabilities. Nowadays, moving data to cloud table service and blob storage service may offer significant cost saving also. So you need to evaluate your applications, which they might be on the RDBMS. So you need to reevaluate their architecture again, whether you really need a RDBMS over there, or you can use the cloud table service and blob storage service. So usually the cloud providers are providing this cloud table service and blob storage service because cloud relational databases are little expensive. So it will be easier to have the table service and blob service. Networking is about the what kind of bandwidth you will be getting, and what kind of bandwidth request your application has. So that assessment of defining the bandwidth of your application is very essential. If you are an e-commerce site and you are getting multiple hits per day, per hour, per minute, then you need to identify that kind of scenarios networking. And one thing is that current cloud providers, they don't have a real pricing model which can tell the relationship between the number, size, and type of compute scales. So right now there is no, it is tentative or approximately correct, but it is challenging to identify the pricing based model and map it to the relate it to the number, size, and compute scale units. Next is understand the value proposition. Supply side savings, value proposition, I'm talking about that cloud providers are providing. So supply side savings are basically a cloud provider will definitely save labor cost, and Power of Fabric can give them a cloud data center can manage thousands of servers. So supply side service savings is there for the cloud provider, and multi-tenancy scale economics is basically public cloud basically takes two advantages. One is cost areas which is not available to the private cloud, that is demand diversification across industries and exponentially large base of users. So these two cost areas are the great advantage for the public cloud, and public cloud costs 10 times lesser than the private cloud for the same unit of service due to combined effect of scale and demand, demand diversification and multi-tenancy. So cloud providers can leverage these four parameters to provide the better pricing model, because ultimately it is going to end in the pricing model. Demand side benefits, majority of available capacity is, if you see in traditional IT case, is unused in your organization. You might have high-end machine, but you are not using it all the time. So demand side benefit is IT departments can smoothen out by having the multi-tenancy. Cloud providers providing pooling servers, run different workloads with complementary time of the day. Demand can be split across resources of cloud provider. Beyond cost saving, beyond cost saving, there are other parameters, benefits like the resource need is reduced, reduced time to market, reduced capital expenditure, cost transparency, increase availability, increase iterative capability, and increase reach and interconnectivity. So these are the advantages on the top of the cost, and those are essential to run your business. So if you are a new business, you will definitely look for the reduced time to market, and increase availability is also one of the major concerns. Third parameter is chart the cloud landscape. Experiment now as you have explored all these areas, you can move on to the charting the cloud landscape. So basically in experiments and pilot projects, you can, if you see MSDN Premium and Ultimate Edition are giving 150 hours of free Windows Azure per month. So that kind of free offers can be taken, and Amazon and other providers also providing similar things. So you take some of the applications and do the experiments. You define the strategy for experiments also, and future cloud capabilities. Also, it is very important that important to know that cloud computing is evolving right now, and evolving with the great speed. Keep the future in mind as you build your migration plans. Cloud providers are continuously introducing new capabilities that can prompt you to refine your adoption. So if you see last year or last year, you may see the difference in the offerings today cloud providers are adding from the competing programming models perspective. Now, for example, Visual Studio Online is available for development, so that has been new thing. So the future capabilities are evolving and added, and you need to make sure that you adapt to the future and don't think a short-term goal, because this is a strategic plan and not tactical. So has to be future adoption should be considered. Next phase is envision the destination. Now I have explored cloud, and now I want to envision. Now here you will basically build a shared vision, and that will be backed by systematic analysis. Create a clear path from your current state to future ideal to leverage cloud power. So at this time, you should have the idea, or you should have goals in mind to where do you want to go. So that kind of thing, envisioning and how to go that. For that, you will be backing up with systematic analysis. Recognizing the case for change. So now if you see existing business, not all application can go to on the cloud in one go. There might be certain application which might be sunsetting, and which are very old, and they are not three-tier architecture. They are thick in nature. They have a lot of dependency with other integration points. So identify from your portfolio that which application can be the candidates for them. Companies basically get locked in due to the challenges in maintenance and integration. So identify which systems can be cloud enabled. So you keep aside those systems and identify which can be easily cloud enabled. Financial constraints are about cost of maintaining ongoing systems versus cloud cost. So you can calculate if you have very old application, moderately written in three-tier architecture, but it has high maintenance cost. And if you envision that if I break this application and there is a potential of this application to have a cloud readiness, you go ahead with the cloud readiness and then relate it to the cloud costing calculators and other means, and then compare those things, and you can take the decision whether it's cloud friendly or not. Operational pressures. Now sometimes the number of physical limitation of number of servers in IT can maintain in data center, or so slow branches, so slow network links in the regional offices, for example. So there is operational pressures for the business to run. So in that case, you can evaluate that, okay, I cannot spend more on IT this year, but my application is very critical. It has been good business fetching up. Then you can correlate that parameters, and you can refine your cloud strategy. Sometimes the security standards or government financial regulations also add fuel to the fire, and that steps you back for not moving to the cloud. And if you assess that part carefully and think that it can be fulfilled and still we can have a better return on investment. Second is drive a shared vision. Now, for driving the initiative within your organization, being an architect, you will be asked to give the input in the cloud strategy for your organization, or if you are a delivery or portfolio or application products portfolio management business stakeholder, then your vision is required over there. And buy-in from the leadership and business unit is very essential for the cloud adoption strategy. Sometimes the resistance will come from the top executives, especially who dislike distractions or fear of disruption. If you cannot show them the benefit analysis, you may not go far. So you will be blocked over there. So basically having the detailed analysis is essential. Which of the applications are candidates for the migration to the cloud, and who will be the early adopters, and who will provide the funding. So all kind of discussion you need to put to the sponsorship committee and get their consents, and then adopt the cloud strategy. Organizational buy-in, also another bottleneck or challenge. Selling the cloud changes will take time in the organization. Not everyone will be easily buy the idea. Challenges will come like what are the current business priorities? What is, everyone will ask, is cloud trustable, reliable and secure? So these three things, the first thing anyone will going to ask. So prepare for such three core areas, and have your justification and analysis ready before talking with those guys. What are the dependencies with other interconnected applications? So define the complete dependency map. Is there any dependency on the third-party provider, and is that a concern? So mention that, for example, compliance certificates like PCI. If that is a concern, then the management buy-in will, they will ask, oh, our application needs compliant certificates PCI. Then you can tell, okay, this cloud provider has the compliance certificates and PCI, it is maintained, and that is not a bottleneck to move to the cloud strategy. Vision for the cloud has to be clear in your organization, and you have to create that. Discuss with the executive sponsor, business unit. They will determine the timelines and priorities. So without their input, the vision will not be created. And cloud powering enterprise initiatives. So make your application loosely coupled. So having loosely coupled means you can leverage the loosely coupled services from the cloud provider. For example, you are managing a web application on the on-premises, and you have some you want to demonstrate to the executive committee that how a small component like caching or identity management I want to leverage from XYZ cloud provider, for example Windows Azure. So I'm leveraging that for my all caching needs. So you will automatically write the loosely coupled components over there and slowly demonstrate component wise, and then come to the bigger picture that now this certain application is using certain components which are leveraging from the cloud, and now I think having this application to go on the cloud platform is the better sense. So that kind of things you need to demonstrate and incrementally plan, and keep your statistics ready. Analyze cloud opportunities. Now, if you want to analyze cloud opportunities within your organization, first of all, you need to evaluate your business readiness. So you need to ask the questions like, or prepare the question like, does your company see IT as a competitive advantage? If yes, then you have to move to the latest technologies which is giving you the better throughput of your IT business, cost saving and all the parameters. Does business see potential benefit of moving to the cloud than traditional IT? So this question has to be detailed out and assisted with the different parameters and the findings. Can cloud help in certain business processes, like for example data mining or analytics or storage? So you can isolate the areas, and you can leverage the particular type of cloud. So for example, I want to just leverage the storage cloud because I don't want to maintain the database servers on my premises. Cost is high, plus my demand is uncertain, that kind of thing, and I want to move to the storage, and by moving to this moving my storage to the cloud provider, I will be getting additional tools and frameworks, parameters that will crawl my database and give me some statistics on that, analytics on the database. Then you need to evaluate organizational readiness. Does the organization staff well versed of cloud in their skills architecture, writing and managing new application? So without knowing that, you cannot move ahead, because resourcing is a major concern nowadays, and having the skilled resources with the right technology is a challenge. By giving a training, you can ask some of your staff to come to the speed and understand the new technologies, and that depends on the learning curve of those folks also. Also need to ask that do your organization support good change management system? Do you have proper change management processes? So that is also major concern. Will you get necessary funding for changes for the cloud? So that is your organization ready? From the technical evaluation readiness point of view, how is your current architecture compared to the architecture needed to operate in the cloud? Is it completely vague? It is not even entire architecture. Then you need to think about that. How many legacy systems need to be rebuilt? Like if you want to, if you have envisioned that I have a mainframe-based application, I want to move it to cloud. So it is not an easy option. So you need to think about that. And sometime you might have a thick client application that you want to move to cloud, but thick client application will not move as it is unless you re-architect it and change the components and change the layering. Is IT due for upgrade also an important factor for evaluating the technical readiness? If your IT is already due, then you have better chances to propose the cloud model. Is current ecosystem supporting business needs and processes? So that is also important. In the enterprise asset inventory, now by doing all this evaluation from the business, organizational, and technical point of view, you can then assess the business factors like how sensitive is data for the business application? Is the source code available for my old system? Do the people understand it? Can the application address future business needs? Technical factors, as I said, about the entire architecture, what is current platform stack. If the current platform stack is not supported by the cloud provider, then you cannot do much over there. How many integration points with the current system are there? How many non-SQL storage IO transactions the application executes per month? So such statistics you need to come up, and how much incoming and outgoing bandwidth of an application is required. So evaluation of business and technical factors will determine to evaluate the application portfolios within your enterprise assets, you can call it as. Then you can select the applications out of that based on the various factors defined. You will categorize them. You can design the demand patterns, and you can recommend the cloud first strategy for the application. If the applications are newer, you can promote the cloud first strategy over there. If it is design, if your applications are designed and for the cloud, if you cannot promote to the cloud first for the newer application, but at least you can now at that point you can keep the cloud readiness in mind and design and develop those applications accordingly. So latter part of the time, if you decide to go to cloud platform, then it will be easy for. Last is build a business case. Now cost benefit analysis. Now based on all this evaluation, technical factor, business, technical and organizational factors, you will be creating the cost benefit analysis. Basically you can create the SWOT analysis, and you can come up with the various cost models within your enterprise, like infrastructure cost reduction by, I can visualize infrastructure reduction cost by 20%, or my development cost will be reduced by a certain percentage because I am leveraging the Windows Azure platform, and it is providing me the tools necessary to develop that application, and I don't need to buy the separate licenses for my applications to run in the in-house on-premises. So similarly for hardware, software, and other tools which are required. Now enable the organization. Now you have explored, envision, now you want to enable the organization. Define adoption approach. So basically you will define the pace of change here. Risk-averse companies will be slower in this case. Like for example, a healthcare company which is very sensitive about the data, HIPAA rules, and maybe financial industries concern about their data security, they will be little slow. So there you need more power and more detailed analysis to buy in from the stakeholders. So their extra detailed analysis, systematic approach need to be provided. Distribution of labor and staffing. So distributed business units can take their own decisions. So if your organization has distributed units, and they can take their own decision and come up to the cloud adoption. But later part of time, if you see the organization as whole, one governing point is always required, and though your business unit has taken the decision, it is essential to discuss at the top layer also to propose that design adoption strategy. Staffing, in-house staff, you may have knowledge or may not have knowledge, so you need to create that awareness and start learning. Migration management is about for example, top-down approach in the organization will help here for strong governance and clear business goals. So that will make the migration efforts effective. Bottoms-up approach will not be much effective here. Pilot projects, create some sample projects as from the sample cloud providers. Now the time is for the selecting the cloud provider. So selecting the cloud provider is basically you will see the technology fit, adoption cost, enterprise fit, and cloud credentials, and security and compliance. So various options are available in the industry today for categories like software as service, platform as service, or infrastructure as service. Process of selecting cloud is not much different than process of selecting any vendor. So keep in mind that you should not get hyped that okay, cloud, how can I do? But it is a similar thing that you are selecting your or a vendor for your normal business. Services they provide, basically you need to evaluate the providers from the what kind of services they provide, what kind of pricing model they have, how long they are in the business, what are their SLAs. So that kind of things need to be completely understood and analyzed. So cloud credential, if I want to talk, like for example, do they provide usage-based pricing model? How often do they perform service updates? Do they provide resource pooling across tenants? Do they provide usage data and analytics? If I want to talk technology fit, once you identify a provider, then look for closely for their supported technology, like for example Windows or Linux. Tools they provide, migration, monitoring, manageability tools they provide. Evaluate for vendor lock-in. So this is very important. So you should not again locked by moving to the cloud. If provider is Amazon or Windows Azure, and most of the application integrates with the existing tools these providers provide, and there is a less learning curve also for developers and operation people. Adoption cost is pricing models will be continuously evolving. So if you read the news in March 30, Amazon has reduced the cloud pricing pricing model, And similarly, Microsoft and Google also has reduced. So 3 providers right now are in the competition. They are in the reduction of their pricing models. Check the prices for various, like for example, compute, storage, and bandwidth usage. Cost-related things like is there maintenance and setup cost involved for if I want to create the accounts for SaaS offering, for example. So just understand their pricing model before getting lock-in. Security and compliance, know your contract very well with them. What controls do they provide to protect their data center? And it is important to know that provider handles both technical and legal issues. Moving to public cloud means potentially you are increasing yourself as business exposure to malicious attacks. So it will be always there because it is again an internet application. Your application will be on internet, so malicious attack. How the provider is taking care of all these malicious attack? Do they have good malware protection, antivirus, and do they provide the certificates like ISO, HIPAA, or PCI? What is their encryption, data encryption methods? And is it possible to configure geographic location for storing data that complies the government regulations? So ask all these questions, prepare yourself surrounding this important area, security and compliance. And enterprise fit is, do they have reliable operation in the business? Do they have good customer references? Do they have support services which address needs of customer with larger user bases? How is their cloud performance, and how is I/O speed of storage? And which migration tool they use? So that is very essential. In future roadmap, ask them the questions like, does the provider seem open to share their roadmap? So what is coming up in their future roadmap? How quickly they can add your future needs? Once you request, how quickly they can do? Does the provider have additional plans to APIs or developer toolkit, components, libraries? Understand their future roadmap so that your need will be catered with their future plans. Upgrade the organization. Now you have selected the provider, and now you need to upgrade your organization. So you can go ahead with the cloud training. You can create the cloud governance model within your company, form a steering committee. Various business managers can be the part of that steering committee. New roles and responsibilities. CIO, in that case, CIO will need to work with HR, IT, and other business managers to determine cloud adoption. Knowledge transfer and cross-functional training is essential. Find right providers, vendor, partners, and consultant to handle the task. Now, as you are moving the application to the cloud, the vendors with whom you have been transacting for the software or hardware need, that will go away. So you need to set up the new roles and responsibility. DevOps team should be formed. Developer and operational team, they can come together and share the joint responsibilities. Build the business case. Now you define the cloud policy, then financial process changes and development process changes, and cloud tools. So that is cloud tools. You can say the cloud tools you have. If you are leveraging, for example, Windows Azure, then what kind of other tools they have in your package or in your plan if it is available for you. And development process changes, like now I used to, my application on premises used to have this kind of framework in-house. Now I can get that from my cloud provider, and I can still continue using that. That kind of stuff you need to analyze and keep it noted somewhere. Next is execution of execute the adoption. While executing, rethink your enterprise architecture, because enterprise architecture is going to change. Having better bandwidth to leverage cloud. Now, if you are your application is leveraging some services in the cloud, then and some services you are on the on-premises. So to leverage the cloud services, do you have a better bandwidth in your premises? That matters. So on-premises optimization of shared services is essential. So cloud infrastructure, server, service caching, identity management, service bus, workflows, messaging. So these kind of things, if you want to leverage, then you should have a better bandwidth. You can have the hybrid ecosystem also. In some application which will be moved to the cloud and will have dependency on premises, and application architecture is designed in such a way that it is catering the both worlds. Design solutions for the cloud. Now you will be designing the solutions for the cloud using the various practices. Now security practice, policies and standards. So does cloud environment you have selected follow existing standards and frameworks? Is your identity access management architecture appropriate for cloud? How will the secure development and test environment for the cloud? How will you monitor security in the cloud? So all these kind of things you need to taken into consideration. And while designing the application solution, you need to follow the architectural principles which are necessary for the cloud readiness. Like for example, atomic statelessness, and for example, parallelism and idempotence. So these are some of the key principles you can have the designing the cloud, because cloud provider will give you the multi-core systems, and your application is not written. Your application is not written in a such a way it doesn't have stateless objects, or parallelism is not in your code. Then there is no use of that cloud power over there. So you have to write your application to leverage that power. And automate scaling. So automate scaling, how to manage the resources and data scaling and application scaling. So that part need to be discussed in that. Upgrade the upgrade organization is about application integration. So integrating the existing business systems to the cloud. So single sign-on, authorization, authentication mechanism. Federated identity provider can also transform claims, claim-based between different identity providers. And consumer identities also can be used, like Facebook, Windows Live, Google account, those can be used. Data integration can be done using, for example, data as service itself, because data as service is based on the standard called Open Data, OData, and data for sharing between the applications is leveraged by that data as service. And testing scenarios to perform the cloud solution before moving to the production. So you need to consider that testing scenarios. In that case, you can mimic the failure, measure cost, scale out, and simulate user access, isolate the performance. So that kind of activities can be done over there. Operate in the cloud. So support. So once you are ready and operating in the cloud, you need to ensure that you have proper support from the cloud provider. Management of your application is easy for you, and monitoring is provided, like system parameters, audit log, exception log, user data access. That kind of monitoring is there. Plus your application intrusion detection and other parameters. So that kind of monitoring is provided by the cloud provider, and you are utilizing those features for your application monitoring. Measure the success factor, which is financial impact, and what you got out of that financial impact, and engineering efficiency, agility, or quality of service. So these are the 4 areas where you need to, each box here I have displayed is a deep dive and analysis, self-analysis within your enterprise, and yeah, it is a comparison of what exactly you want and what is available from the cloud provider. So based on that, you can take the decision, you can create that kind of analysis systematically, and